Biker Sales here, with my first motorbike video showing my experience of BikeSafe with Dorset Police. If you're only interested in my sailing videos, then they will have their own dedicated playlist. And straight away I could feel things going wrong because of the nerves. I should have filtered straight down the middle here. Instead, I'm waiting for a bit of guidance on it.
Can I just take us up the middle? Cool.
Finally I start filtering. They have to assess us on filtering as part of BikeSafe, so I should have just done this straight away. For those who don't know, BikeSafe is an introduction to advanced riding. It's a course run by the police forces up and down the country. You spend half a day in a classroom led by a police motorcyclist who teaches you the basics of advanced riding. After a lunch break, we separated into groups of 2 or 3, each group led by a police motorcyclist, and we went off for a ride. Every so often we'd stop, get a bit of feedback on our ride, and switch over who was in front. The police rider was in the middle most of the time. For the first ride, he had me go out in front, and I was nervous. I was doing everything wrong. It was a combination of having a police bike in my mirror the whole time, and knowing that I'm being assessed on my riding. Looking back, I can see the errors I was making, and I did settle into my rhythm after the first time we swapped positions. While I was trying to think about the teachings of the Roadcraft manual and how to apply them into advanced motorcycling, I really wasn't utilising the abilities of my bike to begin with. Not using the speed of the acceleration and the manoeuvrability to gain an advantage, I felt like I was riding like a learner to begin with. I knew this was down to nerves because usually I'm a far better rider and I could recognise this as I was going along. Slow down a little bit here because we were losing the biker behind us. He was held up by traffic. Getting ready to take this next junction, which is where I finally do something right, which was a big boost to my confidence. Here I'm already assessing the roundabout at the top of the slip road. The roundabout passes over the flyover, and I'm just gauging how much traffic is on there now. Looking through gaps in the bushes as I approach the roundabout, I can see there's a gap if I keep my speed up. If I don't slow down too much, I can go. Double checking it's clear, and away I go. After we stopped for our first bit of feedback, the police rider did compliment me on not hesitating at that junction. Although, going around it, I did have to go slow to wait for them to catch up. Here we can just see one of the other groups who are out on one of their rides. It looks like there's 3 of them out today, so I think they've stopped for a bit of feedback. They might also have stopped to pick up that high-vis vest in the road. once again I'm hesitant with making good progress. I don't accelerate quickly away from those lights, I don't catch up with the van very quickly, and when presented with good opportunities I don't go for the overtakes. Here I get a view up the inside of the van and I can see it's all clear. I could have gone for the overtake as soon as we were past these junctions. Had I have been closer up behind the van, I could have just made another overtake before the bend. There's plenty of visibility there and I could see it was clear. With this line of traffic ahead, I could have closed the gap, looked for opportunities, and worked my way up through the line of traffic to get to the front. There were some pretty big gaps with good visibility. There, I just got a little beep of the horn from the police rider behind me to let me know that we are turning to the right. I could see the blind crest of the bridge here, and I knew I should have used my horn as a warning to traffic coming the other way. As it happened, there was a car coming the other way. Fortunately, they were far enough back that they saw me before they entered the bridge. While on these narrow, unfamiliar roads, I knew I was riding too slow. The police rider made it very clear that he wanted us to go faster. He took the lead for a short way, and then we pulled over to get some feedback on the first ride. He asked me how it went. I said, honestly, it was one of the worst rides I'd done in a long time. He understood that it was due to nerves, and they fully expect that on the first ride. So now we've swapped over, and I'm at the back, and for the rest of the day I was a lot more relaxed and enjoyed myself a whole lot more. One piece of feedback I received was to keep a more dominant riding position, closer to the white line in most cases. As you can see, the police rider's keeping a very close position to the centre line, unless he's moving away for safety or to get a better view. police rider's going to move to the front to lead us to somewhere where he can give us some feedback, and we'll swap over again. The police rider said he could tell neither of us were hooligans, we were both safe riders. But what he really wanted to see was some overtakes. So we were under instruction to use the power of our bikes, get past some cars on the road if we had the opportunity. We set off again with me in the lead, and this time I've remembered to turn on my rear camera. So with new instructions to ride faster and to get the overtakes in where we could, I've got my first target in sight. As I move back in, the oncoming car flashes us. I don't know if he's trying to tell me there's a police officer behind me, but it made me laugh. I mentioned it at the next feedback session, and the police officer thinks the car was flashing him, but he said he had room to overtake another 3 cars before they got to him. This overtake could have been done sooner. Here I get a view up the road and I can see it's clear, so I should have been making my overtake at that point. I get there in the end though. I should have got this overtake in earlier as well. As I went past, the car started accelerating. I had to keep getting faster and faster to get past him. The police rider said I was going really fast, but it was okay because I settled back down to a normal speed. He did say before we went out that he's not looking to do us for speeding or any other offences, he's looking to make us better riders. Here we just pull over for a bit because we've lost our third rider, so we'll give him a chance to catch up before we carry on. Just time for one more overtake before we stop for some more feedback. Feedback on my overtakes was very positive. He said they were well timed, gave plenty of room, and were well considered. I felt some of them could have been a bit better, but he's not looking for perfection. And now we're on our final ride for the day, heading back towards the police station, where we'll get a final bit of feedback and our assessment forms to take away. I was very pleased with the overall feedback. Generally, he said I was a good rider, very confident, very capable, and he recommended the next steps for me would be to go on to do advanced riding. So now we're just heading home for the day. The course is over, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I do recommend BikeSafe to anybody who hasn't tried any advanced riding, but is interested in doing so. The course is relatively cheap, and it's always good to get some feedback on where you might be able to improve your riding. My thanks go out to Dorset Police who ran the course, and most other police forces in the UK offer a BikeSafe course. So if you made it to the end, thanks for watching, and ride safe.